face.
Oh, no.
Okay? Do not lease a car for 2 reasons. One, cars depreciate really quickly, like very quickly. The second you pull it off the lot, it decreases by 10% immediately, which is the next lesson that you'll learn about. So cars are not worth as much as people put worth into. Cars depreciate really quickly. You can get in a car accident at any point in time. Cars are not worth as much as people think. Now, if you buy something that is decreasing in worth, you can still sell it eventually, right? You can still sell the car, make some money back. If you've tricked it out and added extra things to it, you can maybe even make a profit. But if you lease a car, you pay the same payments, almost the same amount of payments. You pay per mile, which is what we're going to figure out. You pay for the repairs, you pay for all the gas, you pay for the windshield, and then you just give it back. And you get nothing in return. You just give it back to the leasing agency, and you get a new one. And then you start it over again. You lease the car, you make the payments, you pay for all the things, and then you just give it back. That's it.
Like how long?
Leases usually last about 2 years.
Oh, so you only get a car for like 2 years?
Yes, but you're making payments on it the whole time, but you're not actually paying towards ownership on anything. It's not your car, but you're the one who has to pay all of the money. Do not lease a car. It's really stupid because, yes, you can get a nicer car for less money. That's why people lease vehicles. But you have to think in the bigger picture. Once you become an adult, you are only worth the things that you own, that you actually own outright. So if you only own clothes, you're not worth very much money. So people invest in other things. They invest in antique vehicles, and they own those, and that increases their worth. They invest in real estate and own multiple houses, and that increases their worth as well. People invest in guns and then own lots of antique guns or regular guns or whatever, and that increases their worth as well. Your jewelry, people invest in jewelry and antiques. That increases your worth. If you don't actually own anything outright, you're actually not worth anything. And if you were to die, your family would have nothing because you weren't worth anything. Everything that you had was borrowed from someone else, and it wasn't actually yours. So you have to think in the bigger picture that when you're buying a vehicle, at least you're worth something because you have this vehicle in your possession. And if you ever needed money, you could sell this vehicle and get cash for it. That's also why you want worth, is if you ever come on hard times or you ever need access to money, you can sell the things that you have to get money back. But if you're leasing a vehicle, it's not your car, but you're still making payments, and you still make pretty hefty payments every month. Leasing vehicles is the dumbest thing you can do as an adult. And I see people do it all the time and get caught up in I want to drive a really nice car. Unless you work in finance, no one cares what car you drive. You probably don't even know all of the teachers' cars. Maybe you know some of them because you've seen us drive up in it. But do you really care what I drive? No. Yes, it is. It is a GMC Terrain. But I drive by his house a lot, so maybe that's why. But because my brother lives pretty close to him. But what you drive does not define your worth. It really doesn't matter. Don't let people tell you that you need to drive nice vehicles. It doesn't really matter. Mr. Ritter? Mr. Schroeder drives the truck that has the Manzanola sticker on it.
I know, everyone knows that one.
Yeah.
Can't take it off.
I don't know why it's still on there, but...
But everyone else don't.
Okay, so thank you for coming to my TED Talk. If you lease a vehicle, I will punch you in the face. Okay? Don't do it. Build yourself up to a really nice vehicle.
So you're saying we can buy vehicles and lease them, and that's okay?
You can't. That's not how it works.
What?
You lease from a dealership, a leasing dealership.
We have to start a dealership.
That's what I'm hearing.
Those people make a ton of money. Yes. Yes, leasing dealerships make a ton of money. So, yeah, you could do that. All right, so the first thing that it's talking about is continuing the lesson from yesterday, just wrapping it up with financing car purchases. So remember that yesterday when they had balance due, they were acting like you were going to pay cash for a car, but that's not usually how it works. How it usually works is you get a loan for the car and then you pay it off. Do you know what typical terms are a car loan? As in, how long do you usually have to pay off a car?
4 years.
4 or 5 years. Okay? 4 or 5 as compared to a mortgage, which is how much?
15.
15 or 30. Okay?
30 years.
So, vehicles, though, I heard on the news that vehicles are getting so expensive that they're talking about making those loans longer and like a 10-year loan on a car. But the problem with that, and also that's dumb because by the time you pay off your car, it's then worth nothing. In 10 years, a car is not worth much. So, if you buy a brand new car, you have a loan for 10 years, by the end of that loan, your car is not worth as much as you actually paid for it. So, don't do a loan longer than 5 years.
If you have a loan on a car and like say you like go gambling, you wouldn't get money back, you get like $1,000. Can you give that whole $1,000 towards the car and pay it off faster?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing with a house. So you can, and that's what our life lesson is about, is if you make extra payments, how much interest will it save you and how quickly can you pay it off? So like when we sold our house in Rocky Ford and we made money on it, we paid off both of our vehicles in one fell swoop because we just didn't want that payment anymore. And honestly, it was because we hate like calling different lenders to make payments. So we just wiped it out and we paid off our cell phones and we paid off like as many little bills as we possibly could. But you can absolutely just go and make a total payment, pay it all off, get rid of your loan.
So,
They don't like you to, but you should because it's good.
so don't lease, but gamble.
Don't
No,
lease.
that's not-
Go gambling,
That's what
make the
I was
money,
saying.
pay your car off.
That's what I heard.
No, I see what you're saying.
No, yeah.
You never know when you're gonna, as an adult, you never know when you're gonna stumble upon some extra money, like a
Yeah.
Christmas bonus, or like this year we got a refund for some extra taxes we paid. I don't know.
Mr. Ritter was so excited.
Yeah, it was like an extra $100. But you never know where extra money's gonna come out, and it's good to throw that towards debt. It makes a big difference. Yeah. Yes, very good point. Okay, so let's look at A and B real quick. This is super similar to the installment loan section that we did a while ago, but let's just review it real quick. It should be pretty logical to you at this point. So Steve bought a truck for $9,650. He paid for the truck with a $2,650 down payment and 36 monthly payments of $234.30. What total amount did the truck cost? Do we care how much he bought it for?
No.
Not necessarily because he had a loan for it. So if we have a loan and we're making equal payments of $234.30, how many payments are we making? 36.
You paid $11,000.
Oh, I got a different number.
I got 8,000.
8,000.
Oh, I added the
8,000.
2,000 in already.
Yeah.
The down payment.
Yes. So this is how much he made in his loan. Okay, these were loan payments. And then he also paid a down payment of $2,650. $11,084.80. So this is how much he paid in total. How much of that was interest? It is the total minus the cost. The total you paid minus the cost of the actual vehicle.
$1,434.80.
$34 and what?
434.
What am I doing? 434?
No.
What am I doing? Okay.
$1,434.80.
Okay. I should have just done it myself. Sorry. My bad.
Wait, so we take the total, the 11,000?
Yes. Minus the cost of the vehicle, which was $9,650. Okay? All right, and that's what B is asking for, is how much is interest. So it says Iris bought a luxury vehicle for $47,851. That's actually not very much for a luxury car. And made a $4,500 down payment. She got a special loan rate of 2.1% for 60 months, and her monthly payments were $761.74. How much did she pay in interest? So we're going to take the payment. How many times did she make this payment?
60.
60 times. Okay,
Plus the
Yep.
1,000.
4,500, yep. So total paid. Okay, so then interest will be the total paid minus the cost, and the cost was 47,851. 2,353.40.
That's
Which is-
to get you.
It's not too bad. I mean, 2% loan is not a bad loan. Not bad at all.
For 5 years.
Well, this was her total interest for all 5 years.
Yeah.
That's honestly not too bad. Okay, let's talk about leasing. The math on this is not hard. I just want to get through to you. The leasing is stupid. Don't do it. Don't do it. Every single one of my accounting professors in college told me that. And we never talked about car leasing, ever, in the class. They all just brought it up on a random occasion of like, if you ever lease a car, I will take away your accounting degree, is what they told us. Because accounting-wise and financial-wise, it makes zero sense. So we just need to go over some terminology. We're not going to write it down, but we're just going to review it real quick. So when you go to a leasing office, a leasing dealership, they give you a lease contract, and this covers how much your monthly payment is, the payment for the depreciation, so you have to pay for the depreciation on that vehicle, the finance charge, the prepaid mileage, and other fees. So when you get a vehicle, they give you a number of miles that you can drive, and you can't drive over that. If you drive over that, you have to pay them extra money. So you agree to stay under a certain number of miles. So the lease price is the monthly payment. Then you have to also pay a down payment to prove to them that you're worthy, like that you can pay the monthly payments. Then there's the residual value, and that's the expected value of the car at the end of the lease period, or the depreciated value, same thing. The interest rate that you're going to compute the finance charge for, the lease term, which is the number of months that you're going to lease the car for, and it's usually 2 years. A security deposit that you pay that is refundable, so if you bring the car back in 2 years without any scratches, they give you back the deposit. But if it has any scratches, you lose that deposit. And then you also have to pay a loan fee or a processing fee. You have to pay registration fees, which is the cost of the license plates and title registration. So you don't even own the car, but you pay the registration on it. Weird, huh? And then mileage is allowed. So you can only drive a certain number of miles before they make you pay extra. You also pay the insurance. You also pay the gas. You pay for oil changes, and you pay for any other routine maintenance expenses.
Not dumb.
See why this is not a good idea?
It's like buying a car but paying more for it.
Yeah, it's like buying it because you have all the same responsibilities, but you don't actually get it. It would be like if you rented an apartment and they made you pay for all the maintenance fees, they made you pay for a security deposit, which they already do, but they made you pay for everything within it, but you also didn't own it. So that's why I think it's a really bad deal. It's not at all like renting a car because rental cars, they cover all of that. All right, so let's look at C. We're really just adding things all together and dissecting what needs to be added and what needs to be subtracted. So there's not really an equation. It's all just addition and subtraction. Candace had a 2-year car lease with $528 monthly payments. Her lease had a mileage limit of 12,000 miles a year and charged 20 cents a mile for each mile over that limit. Her total mileage for the 2 years was 30,850 miles. What was the total cost of the lease over its terms? So here's the payments. And then we're going to do mileage. So how many times did she have to make this same payment?
44.
2 years, so 24 times. $12,672. And then for mileage, She could drive 12,000 per year. So how much could she drive total? 24. But how much did she drive? 30,850 miles minus what she could drive, which was 24. So she's going to have to pay overage fees on, okay, and how much will she have to pay per mile?
2 cents, 20 cents,
20 cents.
0.2. 1,370.
And that's just in overage fees. So total, she's going to pay $14,042 over the course of 2 years, and then she's going to return the vehicle and have literally nothing to show for it.
More than that too.
What?
More than that, probably.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you have oil changes, you have all of the insurance, gas, yep. Owning a vehicle by itself is really expensive, but paying someone else for their vehicle and then getting nothing at the end of it is not great. Okay, all right, let's look at D. Terrence has a 4-year lease that is $332 per month. So we have 36 months. And he's allowed to drive 12,000 miles a year. He bought 3,000 extra miles each year for an additional charge of 7 cents a mile. Lease processing fees and down payments totaled $418, what was the 4-year cost of the lease. So the 12,000 miles are free, not free, but they're included in the monthly payment. But what's not included is those extra 3,000 miles, and how much is he paying per mile on that? 7 cents. Okay. And then he also has $418 in extra fees. So he's going to pay a total of $12,580. If you get a really nice car, lease monthly payments can be upwards of $600 per month for a car that's not yours. Yeah, nice. Okay, and then the last part of this before you start your own work is just comparing between buying and leasing. So the only thing you need to focus on is keeping your information separate so we can practice that. What I would do is kind of split into two and have buying on one side and leasing on the other. This book will sometimes tell you that leasing is cheaper, but the book's stupid sometimes. And it's cheaper, but you don't have anything to show for it once your lease is up. You just give it back. Whereas a car, you can sell it and make some money back. Cars never go to zero on worth. I mean, you can buy a 1970s car and it's not going to be free, even though it's fully depreciated. So just something to think about as you become an adult. Don't be dumb. Don't lease a car. All right. A car, let's look at E here. A car that costs $18,500. So if you buy it, it's $18,500. Can be leased for $436 a month with a $500 down payment. Okay. And a $11,000 residual value.
I think is it 2?
You add the residual value at the end. So add the residual value. What did you say, Nathan?
Oh, that gives you the. Oh, the second part is when you buy it.
Oh, yes. So when you buy it, we might not be looking at this $18,500. I just wrote it down because it was in the book. So it says the monthly loan price is $728 with a $3,100 down payment. The lease and the loan terms were 24 months. Okay, so 24 and 24. So to buy it, it would be 20,572. And to lease it, $21,964. Okay, before you get going though, we need to talk about this residual value. So this $11,000, do you actually pay that amount? You don't, okay? So you don't actually pay $11,000 for the residual value. So why would we add it into the cost of leasing a car?
Might have to.
No, we never actually pay it.
What is that? Yeah, what is that?
Residual value is when I return the car in 2 years, it's still worth $11,000. So it's still worth $11,000, but I gave the car back. So why would I add that as a cost to me?
Because if you damage that, then you are paying it.
No, it's a weird concept, but the reason that they're adding it in is because it's missed opportunity. Residual value is missed opportunity because you didn't buy the car. You missed out on the opportunity of $11,000 of worth. If we calculated it without the residual value, of course it'd be cheaper to lease. Of course it would be. You're only paying for it for 2 years, whereas buying a car, you bought it for the life of the car. But you have to add in the residual value because it's missed opportunity for worth for you. So it is a cost to you because you lost that opportunity even though you were making all of these payments. Okay, so residual value equals missed opportunity for increase in worth. Okay, so it is cheaper in the long run to lease, or sorry, it's cheaper in the short term to lease. But overall, in the big picture, when you add in the residual value, it should pretty much always be cheaper to buy. So don't let that trip you up on the quiz. Make sure you add in the residual value. Okay? Questions? Questions? Okay, I think I'm going to be gone on Monday. If I'm not gone on Monday, I'm gone on Tuesday. I just don't know yet. But both of the next 2 lessons are fairly simple. They're not too bad, so you should be able to do them without me here. But I'll look through it, and if it's super hard, then I will create a video. Okay? All right, so we are going to be on page 248. Page 248. We're going to do numbers 9 through 16. And then you're also going to do 21 through 28.